Greetings friends, I'm Obsidian, and I'm here to bring you my analysis of Skibidi Toilet, episode 70 part 3. Since all of you asked very nicely for it, this episode was heartbreaking. I could not stand to watch one of my brethren succumb to such a terrible fate. But we did it, friends. We finally got our hands on the scientist toilet. Oh boy, what a joyful moment that was. I just want to say thank you for subscribing to me. I started today at 300 subscribers, but we are already at 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate the warm welcome you have given me. Let's get to the video. We start off at the end of part 2 with both Dark Speaker Man and Plunger Cameraman coming out of one of the rooms where Plunger Cameraman flies round and looks round the corner. But before that happens, take a look at the 11-second mark as there is an egg on the floor next to a skibidi. That's a shout out to stake the egg. As Plunger Cameraman comes round the corner, a skibidi is coming out of the room, but he doesn't see either of them because they go invisible. We also see a transmission and recording error on Plunger's screen, which suggests the secret agent is nearby. But when we look round, we see another cameraman hiding round the corner, but he is glowing green. Inside the room, the scientist toilet is looking at a screen with the special agent on it. As Plunger Cameraman and Dark Speakerman enter, the secret agent says goodbye, and the screen goes blank and slides up. The scientist suddenly turns round and begins to laugh menacingly at the agents, while the skibidi who went by them before comes back once again and attacks them, hitting Plunger Cameraman as he closes the door on him. This is where the action really heats up, since scientist thinks he has the upper hand. But Plunger Cameraman has a counter for everything he does. He turns off both the lasers, with the second hitting him a little, and then shuts the other door on scientist as he tries to escape. This infuriates the scientist, and he begins pressing buttons again to try and teleport out, but Plunger once again stops him with the device and tells him to bring it on. This is when the action intensifies and Scientist begins to attack Plunger Cameraman as they both circle each other, with Dark Speakerman watching nearby. Dark Speakerman begins to attack the Scientist, which prompts Plunger to attack him, getting hurt in the process. As he is across the room, he watches on as Scientist rips Dark Speakerman in half and flies back once again to attack the Scientist. But the Scientist stops him with some sort of Speakerman ability, but Dark Speakerman's upper body attacks Scientist by stabbing him with his knife and breaking his glasses. Shortly after, Plunger throws his spiked plunger into the Scientist's eye, making him angry. Plunger Cameraman is then attacked by the Scientist's laser, knocking him across the room and injuring him. Plunger has to watch in horror as Scientist turns his attention to Dark Speakerman and blasts him with a laser, severely wounding him. The Scientist does something to make the keys on his toilet work again, but as he is about to teleport out, the door opens and in comes Large TV Man and some other agents. In reverse, he says, "I don't like you." Here is the clip in reverse. As Large TV Man steps foot inside the room, he goes dark. The scene goes back to Scientist who blasts the Large TV Man with his laser. But then Large TV Man wakes back up and blasts him with his light beams, which knocks the Scientist back. He hits the wall and a small explosion happens. The Scientist starts pressing buttons again, which leads to the floor below opening up and him jumping down. This in turn makes the Large TV Man tell the other agents, "Move back now." Here it is in reverse. Suddenly, the Scientist reappears and is in the same armor as G-Man from episode 67 part 2. He begins to blast the door that the agents came through, and as he is doing that, the door behind him opens up, revealing the female trio and a large cameraman who begins to blast Scientist from the back. This in turn makes him angry and chases after him with his lasers and eventually knocks him to the ground, wounding him. As the Scientist looks on at what he has just done and laughing menacingly as the room changes color, the Scientist's lasers all go out and he suddenly starts acting strange and hitting himself off the sides of the room and screaming. He briefly flies around before falling to the ground and dying. Suddenly, we see the real Scientist come out of the robot. He's being attacked by Speaker Woman and her blades. We see the Scientist badly injured. The scene turns to the female trio as they're ready to attack him. The Scientist begins to press buttons again where he flies to the roof, and as it begins opening, he comes in contact with the Titans. Titan Cameraman grabs him and blasts him with his core. He is passed to Titan TV Man who has the man face and crushes him, and then finally passed to Titan Speakerman. In this scene, you can tell how mad Speakerman is after what Scientist did to him in episode 32 when he had him infected. Titan Speakerman blasts him with his speakers and then smashes him off the side until he drops him into the room, very much dead. We look to the right, where someone teleports in, and it's the Large TV Man. He looks at Plunger Cameraman and says, "It's a scratch," in reverse. Here is the clip. Plunger cameraman turns and notices Dark Speakerman, Camera Woman, and TV Woman. Plunger cameraman grabs hold of Dark Speakerman's hand as he passes away. He looks at him one last time and dies. As he looks towards both the women, you can see TV Woman crying, while Camera Woman is on one knee looking sad. Suddenly, there is a transmission and recording error for Plunger cameraman. The scene suddenly turns different, and he sees Lucky cameraman walking around, and then the ghosts of two cameramen show up, shake hands, and look at Plunger cameraman. This is where the scene turns inverted, and we are sent into a room where the secret agent is. He tells Plunger well done because you cooked the scientist. This is where the agent begins to talk about bigger threats, and the Astro toilet appears on screen as he talks. He tells Plunger that some things have to remain secret. He tells Plunger that there is no evidence left, and then ends with the words, "You did not survive this battle, Plunger cameraman." The scene goes back to inverted and then back to the room, where Plunger cameraman begins to die as TV Woman and Camera Woman look on. TV Woman comforts her as Plunger looks up and sees Titan cameraman. He puts one last thumbs up to the Titan as he looks down on him, and the scene ends with Plunger cameraman's camera going offline. What do you think will happen next, friends? Write your theories in the comments. Until next time, I am Obsidian, and thank you for watching.